Who would have thought that self-tapes would have been as potent as they are now post-pandemic? Every audition, mostly every audition, is done via a self-tape. So I'm about to tell you the 5 most important things that we need to take into consideration when we're doing a self-tape so that you stand out as much as you would have stood out if you were in the room. Here we go. Number 1, choose a neutral background. I can't begin to tell you how important this is. I've seen so many self-tapes where people have patterns or really hideous colors on their background. What that does is it distracts the viewer from you, who we really want to see, to the background that we really don't want to see. So choosing a neutral background lets us focus on you. And after all, that's why we're watching the self-tape, is because we want to look at you, not the background. Number 2, make sure we can hear you. If I talk like this, then you can't really hear what I'm saying. Get the gist? But if I talk like this, you can hear me loud and clearly every single word that I am projecting to you. We sometimes forget that when we're in a room, we can sometimes lower our voice and know that we still will be heard. But on a self-tape, we've got to make sure that we're above a certain volume so that you can hear me and you're not hearing something like this, which I'm trying to get across. Number 3, make sure we can see you. I'm standing in a certain position so that my head, my neck, and my chest are all being shown in the frame that I have. But if I was to do this, or this, or this, you can't see me. Another thing that you really need to focus on is being centered in the frame. This does not work, this does not work, and this definitely does not work. So remember, when filming, choose a beautiful collage on where you can stand and everything can be seen. Head, face, neck, and chest. If you do this, or even this, the viewer's going to be very confused. Number 4, never ever look into the camera unless it's asked of you. I'm doing that right now because I'm filming a video for you guys. But if I was doing an audition, my eyeline would be something like this or something like this. See how it's slightly off from the camera? If I look directly into the camera right like this, the viewer's going to be very confused. But if I go to the side like this and say my dialogue like this, or maybe even use a second person like this, it becomes more exciting for the viewer. They don't feel as intimidated. But if I look like this and do all my dialogue like this, then it becomes a little bit scary. And unless if you're auditioning for a horror movie, you know, looking into the camera is great. Number 5, which I think is probably the most important of self-tapes. You can do it again if you need to. You're not in the room, and in the room, remember, you're only given a certain amount of time to do an audition. When you're at home, you have the beauty of time on your side. If I'm filming this now and I'm like, oh God, I made a mistake, I simply just have to press stop and re-record or edit the video. Use that function, use that service that's available to you. If you get it wrong, it doesn't matter. You're at home. You can film at the beauty of your own time. And just remember, when you're in a room, you can't do that. So number 5 for me, which I think is the most important, is take your time. Remember, you can edit and re-record.